There's been a lot of like bad blood with this buildup because of what's happened at the press conferences. Like you as a bystander, what'd you make of what happened in Miami?
I wasn't there though, that's the thing.
Like Morrell threw the belt at him, David ducked.
I don't know why the belt. That's something you don't do. What if there would have been, you know, someone said he was a kid or something? If you don't do that, and that's how you know he's not how he says he is. He walks around like he's from the hood, like he's gangster. He's like, none of that.
David Benavidez has made it clear that his fight with David Morrell isn't just about the belts, it's personal, and he's ready to punish his rival for making it that way.
David's gonna give him a beating, man. To be honest with you, I think David, you know, is gonna stop him maybe like in the 9-10 round. Maybe if he would have just hold on a little bit more like about a year or two. He's a dangerous fighter, though. You know, we're not underestimating him. You know, David's training super hard. David right now is super motivated.
The rivalry between these two fighters has intensified, with Benavidez admitting that the stakes have grown far beyond the typical competition for belts or recognition. The upcoming showdown on February 1st in Las Vegas is now a matter of pride, and Benavidez has expressed that Morrell's actions and words have made this bout deeply personal for him. Though he understands the fight will be a challenge, Benavidez makes it clear that his goal is to finish the fight, though he acknowledges that he cannot always predict how things will unfold. He said, "The way I fight, I always try to take my opponents out. It doesn't mean you always get it, but we're definitely going to be pushing for it. David Morrell has made it personal for me. I'm glad he's confident in himself. It's all speculation until we get in there. On February 1st, I'll show why I'm at this level." Moreover, Benavidez's camp for this fight has been intense, and he insists that it has been one of his best yet. He claims to be in the best physical shape of his career, stronger than ever before, and ready to deliver his best performance. The groundwork for this fight, according to him, has been laid since he was just 20 years old, and now, at 28, he is fully prepared to take the next step. Benavidez remains laser focused on Morrell, brushing aside talk of potential future matchups with other top fighters, including the possibility of facing the winner of Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol. For now, his eyes are set firmly on the Cuban boxer, and nothing will distract him from this battle. Paulie Malignaggi commented on the upcoming bout, drawing attention to the strange discrepancy in boxing between financial power and talent. Malignaggi, who is an analyst these days, remarked that while Canelo Alvarez holds the purse strings in boxing, the real talent and potential for a top-tier fight in the division lie with Benavidez and Morrell. Both fighters, according to Malignaggi, have the tools to beat Canelo, but the sport has a habit of prioritizing big paydays over the best possible matchups. Malignaggi's commentary reflects a broader sentiment in the boxing community that this fight between Benavidez and Morrell, despite not being as lucrative as some others, is one of the most exciting and evenly matched in the sport right now.
But the biggest problem is this: all the money is in Canelo Alvarez, but the best fight is probably Benavidez versus Morrell. You know what I mean? Like the best fight in terms of the top, who are actually the top two guys in this weight class are probably Benavidez and Morrell. I think they both beat Canelo. You know, it's funny because all the money's with Canelo, so everything revolves around Canelo. And this is why this sport is backward.
Leonard Ellerbe also weighed in on the bout, describing it as a 50-50 fight. Ellerbe, who has seen countless high-stakes matchups over the years, believes this one has the potential to be as dramatic and hard-fought as any in recent memory. He foresees a back-and-forth affair, with both fighters likely being hurt at some point during the fight. The key to success, he believes, will be which fighter can adapt and seize control when the other is on the ropes. Fans, Ellerbe suggests, will be the ultimate beneficiaries of this matchup, as the intensity and passion of both fighters will likely ensure a thrilling spectacle.
I anticipated this to be a very 50-50 kind of fight. I expected somebody's gonna hit the canvas, and it probably might be early, and the other person might get hurt in the fight. It's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, ebbs and flows in this particular fight because both guys really want it bad, and want to make a big statement. It's gonna be a lot of trash talking with the build-up. So this is one of those kind of fights that the fans will actually win.
Robert Garcia weighed in on the fight, calling it a must-watch event that fans should not miss. Garcia emphasizes that this is the kind of matchup the sport needs. Two fighters who are not only moving up in weight, but also bringing their best qualities into the ring to challenge each other for supremacy. While lighter divisions may not always get the attention they deserve, Garcia believes the clash of these two powerful forces will be a highlight of the boxing year. He acknowledges the difficulty in picking a winner between the two, as both Benavidez and Morrell possess knockout power and a high level of aggression, but Garcia leans toward Benavidez, believing that his strength and experience will likely carry him through the contest.
Benavidez, Morrell. How does that fight go?
It's gonna be sick. See, those are the fights that need to happen, man. Those are the fights that the world wants to see. You know, I was talking about Bam, but there's no big names for Bam at 115. 118, maybe a couple. 122, maybe one day, 3 years from now. But Benavidez, you know, and Morrell, they both move up to a division where they're chasing the big fights and now they're fighting each other. That's just fucking badass, man. That's gonna be a sick fight.
Lonnie B has been keeping a close eye on the fight, offering his perspective on what makes the matchup so intriguing. He acknowledges that Morrell, with his slick Cuban style and strong footwork, will be a tough challenge for Benavidez. Morrell is known for his ability to punch and move, and his elusive style could prove difficult for Benavidez to break down.
Tough fight. David Morrell is really good. He's really, really good. Yeah, he's good. I can't even. He's good. You know?
You kind of giving me a face like you don't know who wins that fight.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh.
Because David Morrell is big too. He's big for super middleweight too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's big. He can punch. He's slick. Real got that Cuban style. What he Cuban?
Yeah.
Like real slick.
But offensive with it.
Offensive with it, and those styles are tough for anybody to fight. Even
the Mexican monster?
Even the Mexican monster.
Lonnie B also recognizes that while Benavidez uses his size and strength to wear down opponents, Morrell's ability to counterpunch and stay out of range could be an issue. This fight, Lonnie B says, could very well be a 50-50 battle, with both fighters capable of taking control at different points in the contest.
Especially with David, with that style he got, David's really not slick. He just uses his size to wear guys down. He's like you walk him down and he's so big, you hitting him, but you really can't get him good because he's too big. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? With David Morrell, he would really have to worry about some heat coming back being thrown at him, and David Morrell got real good feet. He got real good feet, so I think that would give David some trouble, and he can punch.
Jesus Ramos shared his thoughts on the matchup, praising Morrell's skills and amateur experience. However, Ramos pointed out that Benavidez has the advantage when it comes to professional experience. Benavidez has already faced some of the toughest opposition in the division, gaining invaluable experience in the process.
And all connections aside, all friendships aside, I like both guys. I like both guys' styles. I think they're both very exciting. I've learned a lot from Morrell. He's a southpaw himself. And I've learned a couple things from him watching the fight.
Ramos feels that while Morrell is undeniably talented, his lack of experience in long, hard-fought bouts could be his downfall against someone like Benavidez, who has already been tested by adversity. Ramos gives the edge to Benavidez, predicting that his experience will likely help him take control in the later rounds.
And I feel like Benavidez has been there and he has done that. So I think that I give the edge to Benavidez in that aspect. And I feel like Morrell might come out strong, but I see Benavidez edging that out in the later rounds.
Stephen Edwards also spoke about the fight, particularly Morrell's ability to move and box effectively. He noted that Morrell's size advantage at 168 pounds has allowed him to dominate smaller opponents, but this might not work in his favor against Benavidez. Edwards believes that Morrell has not yet been tested at the highest level in terms of strategy and adaptability, and that will be a key factor against someone as versatile as Benavidez. If Morrell cannot adjust his game plan to handle Benavidez's size and aggression, Edwards predicts that Benavidez will come out on top.
I'm very impressed with David Morrell, but he kind of relies on his forcefulness, his strength, his size. I mean, he's way too big to be fighting 68 pounds. I've been around. He's a big guy, you know, so I'm very, very impressed with him. But a lot of the guys he's been fighting are so much smaller than he is where he doesn't have to go into his bag of tricks and rely on other things like his IQ and things like that. And I'm not saying he doesn't have it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Tim Bradley weighed in with his own assessment of the matchup. Bradley feels that Benavidez has the edge, largely because of his ability to box and move, something that will give him the ability to counter Morrell's elusive style. While he respects Morrell's talent, Bradley believes that Morrell has not yet faced the same level of opposition as Benavidez, and this will ultimately work against him in the fight.
I still think Morrell still needs a little bit more seasoning, to be honest with you. I wasn't too fond of his last fight.
Part of why
I really
was Benavidez. Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't too fond. Benavidez can do a little bit of everything. We only see him as being a pressure type of assassin type of guy, throwing quick combinations and really, just stepping on the gas and squashing guys. But, he can move and box if he wants to as well. He can. I've seen him, so he has that degree. So he can do a little bit of everything in there, which makes me believe that, Morrell's gonna struggle against that, man. Morrell, he likes guys that are, pretty much stationary, man, in my opinion.
Elijah Vines expressed his confidence that Benavidez will dominate the fight, despite respecting both fighters' styles. Vines believes that Benavidez's strength and experience will be too much for Morrell to handle, although he expects Morrell to have some success early on. Ultimately, Vines sees Benavidez as the winner, predicting that he will outwork Morrell and secure a unanimous decision victory.
I think Benavidez is I don't know, I always liked Benavidez. Always liked him. So I feel like
that's because you're a boxer puncher. You love boxing punches.
Absolutely, but I don't know. I can resonate with him. Like I like his style. I like his personality. You know what I mean? I feel like that's going to be a good fight. But I feel like Benavidez is going to dominate.
Dominate?
Dominate, yeah. So, some people might call me crazy because I had this conversation, but I don't know. I see a lot of stuff. I see a lot of things that Benavidez is going to be able to execute with a fighter like that.
Caleb Plant recently shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between David Benavidez and David Morrell, emphasizing the stark contrast in their fighting styles. Plant pointed out that Benavidez is known for his aggressive, high-pressure approach, often overwhelming opponents with his speed and power. On the other hand, Morrell is more strategic, showing a crafty and elusive style that relies on patience and sharp counters. While both fighters bring different strengths to the table, Plant is excited by the potential of the matchup, as it promises to deliver an exciting clash of styles.
That's a big fight. Their styles are different. Southpaw, right-handed. One puts their punches together very well, and so does David Morrell. But he's a little more crafty. He's a little more maybe passive in his approach. I'll say that. But that's a big fight, that's one I'm excited for. So.
Jaime Munguia also expressed his enthusiasm for the fight, acknowledging that Benavidez's greater experience might give him the advantage. He believes Benavidez's experience in tough fights will play a significant role, but he also praised Morrell's talents, suggesting that the fight will still be competitive. Munguia is particularly excited by the clash, calling it a fight between two well-known and talented 175-pound fighters that promises to be thrilling.
What's your reaction to David Benavidez fighting David Morrell? How do you see that fight?
Bueno, yo creo que sin duda va a ser una pelea muy buena. Pienso que debería ganar Benavidez por su experiencia, porque tiene mucha más experiencia que Morrell, entonces creo que es un peleador más fuerte, pero Morrell también es un peleador muy bueno, entonces sin duda va a ser una gran pelea.
You like it?
Sí, me gusta. Sí.
¿Por qué?
Pues yo creo que los dos son invictos, pues están en la misma empresa, se conocen, saben, no sé, se me hace una pelea muy emocionante.
Dimitri Bivol offered a more neutral perspective, choosing not to predict a winner but recognizing the skills of both fighters. Bivol, who has sparred with Benavidez, remains impartial in his assessment, which further highlights the difficulty of picking a clear favorite in such a high-stakes fight.
To be honest, I didn't see anything about this fight, but I know Benavidez. I saw a couple of short clips of Morrell, and it's an interesting fight. really good fight.
Sean Porter leaned toward Benavidez, giving him a slight edge due to his experience and strength. Porter highlighted that Benavidez has been tested in tougher fights, which may give him a mental advantage over Morrell, who hasn't faced the same caliber of opposition. However, Porter also acknowledged Morrell's attributes, including his size, speed, and power, which could make him a serious threat in the fight.
I think that David is special. I think that he's gonna get better. Like you said, I don't think he peaked.
Yeah.
I think he's peaking, but I don't think he is as good as he's gonna be. You never see that till you in the biggest fight of your life.
Gonna get better.
He's gonna get better.
Gonna get
You
better.
never see how good he truly is until he's in the biggest fight of his life.
Demetrius Andrade shared his observations of Morrell's potential. Andrade noted that while Morrell possesses good size and decent speed, he can sometimes be wild with his punches, which he believes will improve with more experience. Andrade also pointed out Benavidez's significant reach advantage, making it difficult for Morrell to land clean shots. For Morrell to succeed, Andrade believes he will need to be more precise and patient in his approach, avoiding wide shots and setting up cleaner punches.
It's tough because I haven't really watched David Morrell fight by fight. I don't, to really see what he has. I seen maybe like 1 or 2 of his fights. I was like, okay, he's a big kid. He got some decent speed, but he's a little wild with his punches. That comes with experience, of course, when he'll start tightening it up. Is he tight right now?
Jesse Hart also weighed in on the fight, pointing out that Morrell has a tendency to slow down after the 9th round, a potential weakness that Benavidez could capitalize on. Hart also mentioned that Morrell can be vulnerable to getting hit with well-timed punches, particularly if he gets too reckless in the later rounds. Hart remains concerned about Morrell's habits outside the ring and whether they might affect his performance, but he's eager to see how the fight unfolds and if Morrell has improved since his last bout.
Dave Morrell, I'm looking, has he grown? Can we get him? That last fight, I seen a lot of weaknesses in him, a lot of weaknesses. I'm looking at, have he grown from that fight that he went 12 rounds for the first time in his ever career? You know what I mean? Around the 9th, I seen he start slowing down. I seen you can touch him on his chin. You can clip him if you get him at the right time. He slows down around about the 9th round. And David Benavidez, his living habits outside the ring, did that catch up to him? I'm watching for all that. And I'll be looking February 1st to see that my predictions is right.
Ultimately, the outcome of the fight remains uncertain, and while many analysts and figures from within the boxing world lean toward Benavidez, the excitement surrounding the contest is undeniable. As February 1st draws closer, both fighters have made it clear that they are prepared to do whatever it takes to claim victory. The fans are the real winners in this contest, as the battle between Benavidez and Morrell promises to be one of the most thrilling and hard-fought showdowns in recent memory. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.